Grand morning to you. What an amazing day to be alive. I hope this video finds you in amazing spirits, and if it doesn't, hopefully I can help get you there. What I want to talk about today is humility. If you remember, there are three things every morning that I look for, that I want to be better at. I seek humility, being humble enough to understand that I don't know everything. I seek gratitude, the desire to be grateful for all things that come my way. And I seek clarity. I'd like to understand more because I believe it's not about what you know at the end of the day, it's about what you learned that day. Albert Einstein, he had a statement, and it was a rule of his, and it went something like this. It simply said, if you cannot explain what it is that you think you know to a 6-year-old, then you don't know what you think you know. And what that says to me is humility is absolutely a necessary part of your day in order for your day to be great. Because if we don't have humility, then we have an overinflated ego, right? And that ego will cause us to believe that we know more than we actually know. When I was younger, and by younger I mean maybe a year ago, okay? A year younger than I am right now at 51. I was a very insecure person. Along with depression, I also had a overinflated ego. I attempted to be competitive or combative with everyone that I came in contact with. And it was because I was trying to prove something to myself, something that I did not believe. Everything was a competition. And so I would argue facts and points. I would argue on topics that I didn't even really know enough about to even be talking about. I would create inflated statistics to prove that I knew what I knew. It was ridiculous. But now that I've become a seeker of knowledge, I am an eternal student. Now that I understand that I don't know what I don't know, I seek knowledge every day. And you know who have been some of the most amazing teachers for me? My children. See, my kids grew up in a different time than I did. They grew up with different tools available to them. They have the internet, the World Wide Web. They can wonder about something and find out the facts about it literally in seconds. We had to go to the library, the Dewey Decimal System. We had to learn that ridiculous system, right? But I've learned from my kids, and that's because of humility. Now, here's why the ego will give you bad days. I'll give you an example, maybe two, I'm not sure. Let's say we have a 60-year-old young lady who has been through one bad relationship after another. And then we have a 20-year-old who has not been through nearly as many relationships. And that 50-year-old woman will think that they need to tell that 20-year-old woman how to live their life and how to navigate relationships. Now, the crazy thing is just because you're 50 doesn't mean you know more about relationships. As a matter of fact, if you've had bad relationships for 50 years, you're absolutely not the person to tell anybody about relationships. But ego will have you out there saying things that you really shouldn't even be saying. But if you are humble, then you seek to understand why the young lady feels the way she feels, okay? Let's see, another example. A person that's gone through school to become a doctor of medicine, and they were great in their classes, and they were great in their internship, and they're amazing physicians now. Even they do not know everything about the body. They can tell you what science has come to understand, but more doctors have walked out of the room scratching their heads than a little bit, because there's something that those doctors can't quantify. There's something that those doctors and physicians can't know. So there's much that they don't know. And a doctor who understands that they don't know is an exceptional doctor. A doctor with ego will eventually kill somebody. So what am I saying? After I've said all of this, what am I saying? If you want to have great days, if you want to feel positive and feel good about yourself, my first suggestion is to seek to be humble. Humility. I love it when I say this every day or sometimes multiple times a day. Are you serious? I did not know that. You know how many times I've said that to my children? Because they've shared something with me that I had no idea was true. And that's an amazing day. I can lay my head on my pillow at night knowing I learned something. And when someone feels as though they've taught you something, you also help that person to feel good. You help that person to feel intelligent. There are many times in a day where my children will come to me and tell me something, or my wife will come to me and tell me something, and I already know. But for me to say, oh, I knew that, that kills the relationship, because what I know may be different from what they know. And I can tell you 90% of the time, when my children or my wife are sharing something with me that I think I know, they usually share something with that about that very thing that I absolutely didn't know. So when they're done talking to me, I actually know more about that thing that I thought I knew about. So please, please, please connect with humility. It makes you a better person. It gives you a better feeling, and it keeps you from being annoying. So I hope I helped you today, and I want you to have an amazing day. And that is an order.